Welcome everybody to the Splatoon 2 US-Canada Inkling Open 2018 Finals. Jordan Kent alongside 9 Whole Grains, and we are excited for the action that we have coming at you today. Last week, 9, over 550 teams participated in the Open. We've whittled it down to 8 finalists, and amongst those 8 finalists, we've got a winner's side and a loser's side in this pseudo double elimination bracket. Now, the champion of today will be playing for some pretty high stakes. They'll get a chance to represent their region in the Splatoon 2 World Championship. Now, taking a look at how the tournament will work out, as we said, we've got a winner's side, and those teams will get a chance to lose a match, and each match will be best 3 out of 5. Now, on the loser's side, if you lose once, you can go ahead and swim on out of here. We'll take a look at all of the action taking place here shortly, but you look at these teams, and where do we begin, 9, as far as who we should keep an eye out for?
Well, through all the Cinderella stories, all the upsets that we saw last week, the top 4 teams finished in that winner's side you were talking about there. Quantum.
You take a look at Quantum, Set to Destroy. You've got Tomo and Saikai as well, too, some teams that really seem to stand out. And starting with Set to Destroy, what it makes them so good, because if you're looking for a dialogue in this tournament, they are the big bad wolf of these 8 teams here today.
Well, they're a team of ones, to use a term from other sports there, all the way up and down, filled with star power, and they've been consistent, practicing against the best teams that they can find. Pengit, you see on the blasters as well. Hexen, a very versatile player. Fuzzy, everywhere you look there, it's star-studded from top to bottom there. There's a reason that they've had the dominating run that they've had.
And you continue to take a look at what makes these teams so good. And yes, Set to Destroy, many people in the community understand that they might be the favorites coming in. But you take a look at some teams like Quantum, Tomo, and what about Saikai? What stands out to you about Saikai and what they bring to the table today?
Unconventional. They are very aggressive. Even now as the game is starting to slow down a little bit, we're seeing those long-range weapons creep back into the meta. They refuse to switch. They are going to be in your face. They're going to run at your goal, run at the objective, and rely on their technical ability and skill to make plays happen.
Now you look at the loser side of the bracket, and still, they're one of the top 8 teams representing U.S. and Canada, so some very talented teams. Are there any underdogs when you look at the loser side of this bracket that might be able to make a surprise, or maybe some people that our fans can rally behind?
The team that you're going to want to watch for is Synergy. I know you're a big fan of Tim. Tim last year from Deadbeat, that E3 champion. He's back here, and he is on Synergy along with Resbit, a fan-favorite sniper, and then Ant and Bran as well. 2 great frontline players. They have a ton of star power, and if they had not run into Tomo there at the very end of their run last week, they might be in the winner's side.
And we want to remind you, last week it was all turf war, but today in these finals it will be all ranked modes. So we're talking splat zones, we're talking tower control, Rainmaker, and oh yes, some clam blitz. So I can't wait to see some high-level competitive clam blitz play. And for many of our viewers, a lot of them are familiar with the competitive scene, but 9, we also have some folks that are maybe checking out the competitive side of Splatoon for the first time. As best as you can generalize, what makes these teams so good? Why have they been able to really rise to the top when you look at over 550 teams that tried to take on all these challengers last week?
Well, the main thing is composure, right? The ability to stay calm even as the opponent is trying to run you down, even as they have taken your side of the map. The ability to stay composed, to know what routes to take to get back in, to know what the important parts of the map are if you're moving back in. And then beyond that, it's just recognizing what the opponent is doing here. You play so many games, you log so many hours here, you understand what they're going to try to do before they do it. Then it just comes down to technical skill. Can you hit the shots you need to hit, and can you execute your game plan?
Yeah, it's such a good point. It's a fine balance between the ability to not only just be so good with your aim and all that tactile movement, but the communication and the understanding and recognition of everything that's going on. So keep an eye out for that. We'll certainly call that out for you. Just as a reminder, our champion today will represent the region in the Splatoon 2 World Championship. So let's go ahead and get started with the action. We're going to start with our first match. That's coming from the losers bracket. It'll be Vitamin C versus Komodo, and we're going to be doing Rainmaker in Gobi Arena. So, Nine, you look at the makeup of Vitamin C, Komodo. What stands out to you about these two squads as they get set to face off head-to-head here?
Well, interestingly enough, they're very similar compositions. Both teams have two typical frontliners there. You see Pixel and Mullen on Komodo. They have been a dynamic duo, prowling the front lines since Splatoon 1. On the other side, you've got Emmy and Lily running together, doing the same sort of game plan there. And so I think the key to this match is going to be which frontline duo can succeed more than the other one. Sometimes you have to simplify it as winning your 1v1s or your 2v2s. I think looking at that right now, Komodo probably has the edge, but we said that last week too, and Vitamin C blew through that team.
Now, we had a great chance yesterday to play some Splatoon 2, and I was using the range blaster, and you were basically dragging me along because, let's be honest, we're not even in the same atmosphere when it comes to your ability and my ability. You were much better. But you talked about Rainmaker, how especially with these high-level competitive games, how matches are either decided in the first 20 seconds or at the 4:59 mark.
Things can stagnate very quickly in Rainmaker. When you pick up the Rainmaker, the opposing team starts getting special meter passively. So if you don't make a quick, decisive move, the opposing team is going to be able to build up those specials and use that to stall your momentum. And that Rainmaker's on a timer. If you take too long holding it, your push is going to be done.
And another term that we're probably going to use a lot, and I should say terms, is you look at front line, you look at flex,